Good morning, students. Today I have taken the lesson The Coal Within. It's a poem in ICSE collection written by James Patrick Kinney. James Patrick Kinney is an American poet and he wrote this poem in 1960. And at that time, this poem did not become so popular. It was only because it talked about different religions, so it was considered to be too controversial. Later on, this poem was read in a religious group meeting, and then from then on, it became very popular. If you look into your textbook, an introduction about James Patrick Kinney, you will see that how this poem gained popularity after that religious council meeting. And this poem, I'm not going to tell you beforehand what it is about, but just to understand for you, in one line, it talks about the racial prejudice and people's instinct when it comes to their own self, that is selfishness, is talked about very much in this poem. It is about an instance where 6 people were trapped, and how they dealt with the situation in which they were trapped is the poem. This poem has 8 stanzas, and each stanza has 4 lines each, and we will be going through it, and let's see what it is all about. 6 humans trapped by happenstance in bleak and bitter cold. Each one possessed a stick of wood, or so the story is told. The poem begins with 6 people trapped in a happenstance. Happenstance means they are caught in a situation. They are trapped in a situation, and the climatic condition is very cold. Okay, it might be a day in winter, and it is very cold and bitter cold. The word in bleak and bitter, you will notice it is an alliteration because there is a repetition of consonant sound, bleak and bitter. Each one possessed a stick of wood, so the story is told. Each one, all the 6 people, were having one stick in their hand. They had a small log of wood in their hand, you can say. Their dying fire need of logs, but the first one held hers back. There was a fire in front of them, and in order to keep that fire lighting, they need to put their log one by one. So, the first one in the group did not give up his log of wood, he held it back. For of the faces round the fire, she noticed one was black. This lady, she observed that out of the 6 people who were sitting round the fire, one was a non-white, or you can say he was a black. So there might be certain racial prejudice in her mind regarding the black person sitting there, so she did not put the log to fire. The next man, looking across the way, saw one not of his church and could not bring himself to give the fire his stick of birch. The next man in that group of 6 was a man who saw that there was no one belonging to his church, and he himself was of different church. So he cannot force himself, he cannot ask himself to put that log into fire. He decided not to put it, the stick of birch, in the fire. The third man sat in tattered clothes. The third man in the group was a beggar. Okay, he was not rich enough. His clothes were rags. He gave his coat a hitch. He tightened up his coat. He gave a hitch to that. It just symbolizes his meanness. He is trying to just cover himself. Why should his log be put to use to warm the ideal rich? See, there is a question mark here. He actually is questioning himself that why should he put his log in the fire to warm the ideal rich. He might have seen in a group that one person was the rich man who makes the poor class work so much hard, and because of that they are laboring so much, and because of these laborers or this poor section of society he was rich, and he himself sits ideally. So why should he give his fire, a log to the fire, in order to warm the rich man who is an ideal man according to him? The rich man just sat back and thought of the wealth he had in store. The rich man also in the group, he also thought of the plenty of wealth that he has stored in his lifetime, and he's just thinking about that and how to keep what he had earned from lazy, shiftless poor. The only thought that the man had, the rich man had, that how he should put his ambition, how he should shift himself from this, and how he should protect his wealth, protect his money, whatever he had in possession, from the poor people who were lazy people who did not work. Now see the difference in the thought of the poor and the rich. The poor is not helping the rich with the thought that he is the person who is possibly made to work by the rich, and he collects the money from the labor done by the poor people, and the rich man thinks that the poor is a lazy one. He does not do the work, he shrinks from the work, he goes away from the work. Why should he waste his money in helping them? And here the thing is, why should he put his log of wood to warm that lazy, shiftless poor? The black man's face bespoke revenge. Remember the first lady, she did not put the log to the fire because she was a white and she saw a black man in the group of 6. Now the black man's face bespoke revenge. He was full of lot of revenge in his mind, that why should he put his log to the fire? As the fire passed from his sight, and the fire was as it was in front of his eyes, for all he saw in his stick of wood was a chance to spite the white. He got an opportunity. He took this as an opportunity to take his revenge from the white lady. From all throughout his life, he has been calculated or questioned of being a black. He has been debarred from so many so many opportunities in life. So this opportunity he wanted to take his revenge, from which he has been suffering. The last man of this forlorn group and the last person of this lonely group, desolate group, did not accept for gain. He did not want any profit. He did nothing except for profit. His only motive was to attain profit out of the other person. So giving only to those who gave was how he played the game. And he did not justify himself on any ground. He only said that nobody else is giving, so I also will not give my stick to the dying fire. This was his logic of not giving the fire the log. Their logs held tight in dead still hands was proof of human sin. And finally, the outcome of this was none of them were ready to give the log to the dying fire. And the situation was this, that it was throughout the place, it was a winter day and it was snowing, it was bitter cold, skin biting cold. And they all in the morning died holding their logs of wood in their hand. And what it is a proof of, that each one were the victim of human sin. It is a cold from within. It was not the cold outside because of which they died. It was a cold within. The heart was full of so much preoccupied notions about the other person that none of them were ready to give for the others to survive. They did not die from cold without. They died from the cold within. That is the lack of generosity, the lack of human kindness, selfishness led to their death. And that is the sin that all of them committed. If you will see, it's a general reminder for everyone across. Through this poetry, Kine wants to tell us that we all should be able to understand ourselves as a human being. There should be no disparity in the name of religion, in the name of skin color. You see always, the news channels are full of this black and white, Hindu and Muslim, lot of things. But we should be at a level where we talk about humanity. Each one of us have been born on this earth with certain we are the species of humans, no? So we should consider each human as a hope on humanity. The poem is a simple yet powerful reminder that if we selfishly hold on to whatever we have, there will be a time that there will be nothing left, first of all, and secondly, if we don't care for the other human being, what's the use of existing on this planet? What's the purpose of our survival? All the living beings should be protected from our own self. Discrimination on the ground of race, religion, caste, gender, and ethnicity will not lead us to any place. We all are going to get lost. So everyone has a specific time period on earth, and we should utilize that time in serving humanity. So this poem particularly deals with lack of warmth and affection from the part of humans for each other. So Kine has been able to give us a lot through this poem. It has a diverse dimension, and after reading this poem we should understand that nature also gives us an opportunity to assist each other. If at all they would have put their logs one by one to the fire, the whole night would have passed in the warmth of affection, warmth of human feeling, rather than the feeling of illness towards each other. So hope this poem would be clear to you, and I will be giving you more lessons of your poetry. If you like this, please like and subscribe my channel for more updates. Thank you.